Yes, sir. We are back. We are back. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Sports Talk with Grant, Najee, and Marsell. Every Friday at 8 p.m., man, tune in, share with your friends. We talk about the best sports topics. How are you guys, my brothers?
We all know. We all know. The Knicks are going to the finals. We got to do it. 2 more games. We're feeling great. Brunson is looking amazing. I like how he's playing the game right now. He looks solid. Cat's actually, doing some things. Bridges looks like he's back from whatever, slump he was in. But, man, the Knicks, we're going to the finals.
It's looking like. How about you, Marsell? How you doing?
Oh, man. Great, man. Great. It's called Leave Empty Friday, baby, so I'm good.
Amen. We got a really good topic today, talking about the MVP award in the NBA and the bias aligned with it. We know there's a lot of controversy with all the MVP awards every year, and especially this year as well with Wemby and Shea. So we're definitely going to talk a lot about that. But first, we're going to go into the playoff standings, the NBA news, anything you guys got, but for sure the playoff standings. Right now tonight, start off in the West. We got the Spurs and the Thunder going at it again. Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox are cleared to play now, which is really good for them. They have their ball handlers back, less pressure on Stephon Castle because, the Thunder have been applying pressure on him and he's been turning over the rock, which, it's tough. They have really good defense. What are you guys looking for tonight in terms of the Spurs and Thunder?
Go ahead, Marsell.
Well, I say if it is it Shea or is it Wemby? That's what it comes down to. Who has the better game between the two of them? And also, I'm looking at turnovers versus assists. The teams that win those two categories have a good chance of winning. And the last 2 categories are defensive field goal percentage and rebounding. I think those stats right there, the winner, whoever win the most out of those categories will win the game.
Man, with Wemby doing 22 rebounds the first game, I was like, Jesus. It was insane. 40 it was like 40 points plus 22 rebounds or 24 rebounds. That's insane. I don't know, that's inhuman.
That's Will Chamberlain numbers, bro.
Yeah, and he's not playing plumbers. He's playing legit players. What I gotta say is, man, that first game was, I would say, hands down, the best first Western Conference Finals game I've ever seen. There was back and forth constantly. It just felt like you didn't want it to end. And, man, it didn't disappoint. Wembanyama came out on top. The second game, I think my stance on it is like I still feel like the Spurs have that opportunity to really turn the series and beat them, going further. But you know how Shea is. They're giving them those – man, he's just a merchant, man, with the fouls, the foul merchant. And it just feels like it's not I wouldn't say ethical. It's not like genuine. It just feels like it's not basketball. So those are my things with when it goes on with Shea. Great player, but it's just those fouls. But you're starting to see the whole team do it. And it's like, man, where is basketball going? So I feel like they got to change that going in the future. But I still got the Spurs winning this whole thing. I think the Knicks and the Spurs would be a great finale because, to be honest, if the Thunder win, the Knicks ain't winning the finals.
Yeah, no, they're not winning the finals. No. But yeah, Najee, you're right. It's not just Shea. Like, you also see like how when they're playing defense, the refs kind of just let them do what they want a lot of times. Like, they're grabbing Wembanyama, they're shoving people. Lou Dort is sometimes playing football, like he's shoulder sucking people. Like, it's crazy. And you think it's like, does the NBA, like, are they just letting Vegas dictate some of these games? Like, literally, they're just letting them go. It kind of like shifts the way that the refs are reffing the games. But in terms of Oklahoma City, they let them play a lot more physical. But when they're on offense, they get those ticky-tack fouls, and then they get to the line, which it can be frustrating for the fans. unfortunately. But for me, I'm looking at Chet Holmgren in this matchup. I think that with him, he's got to take the challenge, man. Like, he was the number 2 overall pick. He's 7'1". You're not too far away from Wembanyama. You are athletic. You are a shot blocker. You are, you could be an all-star you have all-star potential. Like, you're there with him. If he takes the initiative to, take that matchup head on with Wembanyama, obviously he's not going to stop him, but you're the only guy on that team. You can't have Alex Caruso guarding him. Like, come on, Alex Caruso is 6'5". Like, why are we having guards on a 7'5" guy? He's a foot taller than him. That's ridiculous. You have to go to your coach, even if the coach is doing. You just got to take the initiative. And
even on the switches, there's no reason Caruso should ever be close to Wembanyama. Like, it's just not. He shouldn't even be close.
No, not at all. So that needs to change as well. It's unfortunate that Jalen Williams for the Thunder is, he's having a hamstring issue. Again, that's why a lot of people were saying with Luka, like with hamstrings, you don't want to rush that back. Like an injury like that flares and comes back. And that's why the Rockets that year with Chris Paul, they didn't win the champ. I feel like they would have won that championship that year against the Warriors when James Harden was going crazy, the hamstring. So, for the Thunder, obviously, I believe they're going to lean on their depth a lot, which they can do. They go 12, 13 deep. And if Chet Holmgren takes the initiative, I think that they'll win this series for sure. But like you said, San Antonio, if they're getting Dylan Harper back, they're getting De'Aaron Fox back, that could make things interesting. I think it's going to be a 7-game series for sure. But I think San Antonio will probably win tonight for sure.
And you guys saw the Stephon Castle dunk?
Ooh.
That's a bad man. UConn alum. Hey.
I was looking like some Westbrook D Rose type of just
prime
get out of my way.
D Rose, yes. Get out of the way, Harkenstein. Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, that kid's special for sure. But yeah, great Western Conference Finals for sure to look forward to. And then, we go to the East with the Cavs and the Knicks. 2 very talented teams as well. But, the Cavs had some issues coaching wise in the first game, being up 20 plus. And you just don't blow a lead like that in the playoffs. Like you just don't, you have the game pretty much in control and you just, falter. But I think that the way that the Knicks are going, it just feels like the Knicks believe, man. Like they all believe, they're all locked in. Their defense is locked in. Mikal Bridges is playing better. I do believe that the Knicks will win this series, but Cleveland will win a game or two. I believe that. What about you?
I think so too.
Yeah.
I know we can't let it get to game 6 or 7. I know that for a fact. Donovan Mitchell, as the games progress, he gets better and better and better. And then they stop thinking about giving Harden the ball at any, stop giving that man the ball. He don't know what to do with it. This dude is a turnover machine and don't know what to do with it. So it's just going to be really hard. They need to get on them tomorrow. They need to win that game. That's a must win tomorrow, because if they don't, I can see it going 2-2, and then they might get that third win maybe, but it's just going to be very hard. But I still got the Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5. How about you, Marsell?
Man, it's a game of adjustments. Okay. And in game 1, I don't know how many possessions it was that whoever James Harden was guarding, they scored.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And, at some point you got to make an adjustment. You got a 22-point lead and you lose the game. You don't use timeouts. You don't switch. You don't get him off of
Brunson, right?
Brunson, and I think that game took a lot out of them. Keep in mind now, didn't they go 7 games in both series before that, the previous 2 series?
Cleveland.
Yeah, didn't they go 7 games in both series before that?
Mm.
Man, I don't know if they're fatigued. I don't know. I'm not saying they are. I'm not making excuses for them. But when you go 7-7 and and those are grind them out series.
Yeah.
At some point, man, you know, your legs gonna fail you. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
And game 3 is a must win for them. You know, but I predict the Knicks going in there and doing what they did against Philadelphia, and putting their foot on their neck, man. And you know, you can't. You know, a lion does not play with its food, right?
No doubt.
You know, the players when they're hunting, when it's time to eat, they getting down, they grubbing. The Knicks are the lion right now. They need to go in there into Cleveland tomorrow and handle their business. No time messing around, playing around, and extending the series.
Yep, you said Knicks bringing out the broomstick. Said Cavs have no legs after playing 3 straight weeks. Yeah, with no rest. Yeah, I mean that's a good point.
That's a good point, Marsell. 100%. You know, they played probably an extra 4 or 5 games or 3 games or so more than the Knicks have. The Knicks have just been chilling for a week and a half. You know, they were just chilling, saying, all right, let's see if Detroit or Cleveland wins this, you know, like you said. But to me, that's why I felt like the Knicks came out flat on that first game, because they had so much time and they just weren't in the game. And that's why, thank God they came back. Brunson, you know, dropped 38, you know, guys are unreal. But I just feel like that's why it's important to, yes, you want to finish early. You want to start prepping. You want to have the health, but you still need to have that ability. Either it's the coaching that they need to tell the players, like, hey, these practices need to be so game-like that you have that same mindset. Like, we have to score here, or we have to get this block or this steal, or, you know, just more in the game, you know, because that first game they were came out, and I was like, man, I turned off, you know, I had to turn off the TV. I was just like, man, let me go do something else. I see that they came back, and I was like, how?
Yeah, but think about it though. They came back. It was 3.5 quarters. They got their legs back, right? And they got their rhythm back, right? And again, like I said, it's mind over matter, man. It's all here. It's the mental thing. They know how to play. You know, they know how to play. They know what's got them to this point. And in the first 3 quarters, their shots just weren't falling. Their rhythm was a little off. But when they made that run in the fourth quarter, you know, Cleveland, the Knicks went here and Cleveland started going here.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that they lost that series in game 1. And I said that the night of the game. I said, man, you know what? This was their best chance right here to come in and steal game 1 and to go up by 22 and then blow it in the last 7 and some odd minutes of the game. I mean, they outscored them, what, 44-11 or something like that?
It was something crazy. Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, and it's not all on James Harden either. You know, I mean, there's 4 other guys on the floor, and you got your head coach holding on to timeouts. You know,
yeah.
Right. You know, so
what was he holding them on for?
He said I heard an interview where he said he likes to hold on to him till the end of the game. Well, guess what? End of the game.
It's the end of the game now. You were up by 20. I mean, that was a 4-point game.
And you know, and this is just me when I was coaching high school and in college. You know, you got to be strategic about your timeouts, but at the same time, if you got a 15-point lead, you're not gonna wait till the team ties the game before you call the timeout.
Right.
You know, I got a window. You know, we up by 22. If they cut it to 15, we get in a timeout. We gotta refocus. We gotta reshake some things around and figure some things out. You know, what are they doing? You know, it's pretty much bang bang because you don't have a lot of time. But you and your coaches got to be talking about adjustments. Yeah. And to not.
Well, I think it was the big shot. The big shot, like Brunson. You know, everything he was doing was like knocked down. He was like, I'm going to create the space. I'm going to do a little floater. Like everything that he was doing was working. So 100%, it's that big shot.
But you guys know, you guys are sports guys. You know, you can feel when you are involved in the game. When you are involved in the game, you can feel the momentum starting to shift a little bit. And the last thing you want is the momentum going here, and then all of a sudden, before you realize it's over here now, and then when it's over here, it's too late.
Yeah. It's just like watching a stock. You're like, oh man, I got in so low. It's just going up. It's going up, but then you're like, it's gonna come back down. It's gonna keep going back up when it comes down, and then it just keeps going down and goes down and goes down. And then you're like, man, when do I call timeout? When do I sell my stock? I don't know. That's what I kind of felt like what happened.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, basketball, it's a game of runs at the end of the day. Like, especially in the NBA, like teams can get hot. They can go on a hot streak. Yep. As a coach, man, you have to know when to try to stop the bleeding. Like, use your timeouts, especially in the playoffs. These are high-stakes games. There's no reason to be holding on to all these timeouts until the team is, you're barely up by 2 points at that point or something. So, I mean, he's a good coach. That's why everyone was shocked. Everyone was like, wow, like that's something that like a JJ Redick would do right now or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a Kenny Atkinson type of thing. This dude is well ingrained in the NBA. So he will be better going into the next games for sure. I think Cleveland will be better. Najee, you are right. Like Donovan Mitchell, he's always been like an all-time playoff performer. I know a lot of players don't really view him as like in that top 15, but this dude can score with the best of them, and he's not even.
This guy can just hoop, man. No, this guy can just hoop.
Straight hooper, athletic. Only 6'1", but he's stout. But he's up there, man, for sure. But
I'm telling you, he's a top 5 player in the league. Like he is.
He's cold.
I wish the Knicks were able to go get him, but at this point, it's not possible. It just ain't possible.
No, it's not.
So, our next thing is getting Giannis. We're going to get Giannis, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
Giannis,
I don't know.
I mean, would you say Donovan Mitchell is better than Brunson, or would you say Brunson is still better? That's tough, huh?
I'm a Knicks fan, man.
Yeah.
I want to say yes. Yes. I like Donovan Mitchell's game. I just feel like he can get the guys more involved because I know a lot of times it feels like Brunson has to take over for this team to even, have a chance. And I just think that Donovan Mitchell is a player that can make everyone else successful and not just himself,
Yeah, for sure. Marsell, would you say, who do you think is better, Donovan Mitchell or Jalen Brunson?
I think they're two different ball players.
Okay.
And I think their teams need different things from each player. You know, if Brunson sits back and lets everybody else go, how good are the Knicks going to be? How good would they be? If you run your offense through Cat, can Cat carry your team?
No.
And this is just me, but I'm looking at it. And I think is it Mobley?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Mobley can give you a little more. If you get him going on offense, he's gonna play harder for you on defense.
Sure.
And I think Brunson's a lead guard where Mitchell's a 2. Remember, Harden is their point guard. So I say they're two different ball players, 2 different types.
James Harden.
Yeah. Hey, I'm with you, man.
Oh man. Yeah.
Your past predicts your future.
Man,
well, let me ask Marsell. Hold on. Let me ask Marsell.
Go ahead.
Would you rather have Brunson or Donovan Mitchell? What would you rather have?
Depends on what my team
To
is.
build your team around. To build your team around.
To build my team around, I would go with Brunson. And I'm gonna tell you why I say this. Remember, who did the Cavs trade to get James Harden?
Who did they get?
I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Darius Garland.
Oh, yeah, Darius Garland. Yeah, he's on the Clippers now.
Yeah, Darius Garland is a better point guard.
Yeah.
I bet you they having buyer's remorse right now in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Plus he's younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with Brunson because I can get a big. I get me a nice big to go with him. We can get that inside outside game going. You know, you can get a 2. You can get a nice 2 to go along with him. You know, so that's me. I would go with Brunson. Plus, you know, I'm biased anyway, so
yeah.
Yeah, so but yeah, I'm with Brunson on that.
Yeah, I mean, Mitchell is just so explosive. Like offensively, he's just like he can go off for 40 plus. Like it's tough, man. Me personally, like I'd probably take Donovan Mitchell. Like I just think he's just so explosive. And he's been
I feel like you can always find a point guard. I always feel like you could find a point guard, and you can't find like someone like Donovan. You know,
I get that. I get you can always find a point guard. You found James Harden. I'm just saying. I'm just being real with you. I mean, because I want to know. Seriously, I want to know why you would trade a younger and I think a better ball player in Darius Garland, who's a two-way player who can play both ends of the floor, and go and trade him for James Harden. What is James Harden want? Why would you? He
has the IP. He has the name. That's what it is. Just James Harden. That's why they got him there. Like,
yeah.
I'm just saying. I go with my eye test, man. I go with my eye test and I look at histories. And Garland's young.
Yeah, he's like really early, like 21, 22 or something like that.
Yeah, he may be a little older than that, but he's not.
Yeah, I don't know about
31, 32.
That's young.
Yeah.
You know, true. And I'm just curious. I don't know why. I don't know if they didn't get along, if it didn't work. I mean, I don't know, but man, you got to give me something better than that. If I'm trading a young up and coming point guard like that.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting because there's a lot of Harden stands out there, you know, Harden guys who just ride Harden, and they say he's like a top 2 shooting guard all time. And they said they take him over Dwayne Wade. And I'm like, dude, bro, like Dwayne Wade was playing defense. Dwayne Wade was one of the best shot blocking guards ever. You know what I mean? Like this dude was putting up Jordan numbers in that finals run. Like, I just don't get it. It's the infatuation with offense. Like everyone's just so offense driven and everyone's just like, okay, you can put the ball in the hole. But it's like James Harden is not doing that anymore either. You know, his numbers are much lower. So it's like, I don't get that trade either, Marsell. That was a little iffy to me.
Mm-hmm. I'm going with the winner. The guy that's proven that's won.
Absolutely.
That man D Wade, that dude gets slipped on hard now. That dude's like not even in conversations.
No,
you know.
Yeah. Well, again, it's revisionist history, man. You know.
But anyway, I mean, Cavs and Knicks. It's going to be another great series. You know, we got some Knicks fans in here. Hopefully the Knicks go out. It's looking like the Knicks will get it. So we will see what happens there. But now for me, you know, I really wanted to talk about, you know, the MVP award because there's always discussions about it each year about did this guy get robbed? Is this voter fatigue? You know, there's all different types of things. And, you know, for me personally, I think a lot of the years the best player doesn't always win the award. Like, I think there's more to it, which is unfortunate, right? Because usually you think MVP, best player in the league. So as far as Wembanyama and Shea, do you guys think that Shea deserved the award this year?
Nope.
I don't.
But I feel like it. But I feel like it's a thing that the NBA is like realizing. They're like, dude, this dude Wembanyama is going to be the like the face of the NBA for countless years. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Wembanyama MVP 5 years straight after this. If this dude stays healthy, this is the greatest basketball player we are witnessing right now. And it's insane saying that when LeBron is not even out the league yet. So LeBron never even got his basically his flowers. We've all been saying like, hey, he's the greatest player. And now you got Wembanyama and you're like, okay, this guy's just on another level. This guy's seriously on another level. So I think it can be biased, but Wemby was just an overall better player, better defensive, honestly offensive. We've seen in the past, like Kobe Bryant had better numbers than Steve Nash, and Steve Nash got the MVP. And you were like, dude, if Kobe wasn't in this league right now, no one's watching the NBA. No one's watching the NBA. Steve Nash. I'm sorry. Guy was good. I'm not going to lie, but he wasn't Kobe Bryant.
You're absolutely right. What about you, Marsell?
You know, I guess my I would like to know what the criteria is, what they're looking at, and how they decide it. Is it points? You know, if it's points, yeah, Shea gets it. But who had the better year, basketball player wise? Because now, and here's the other thing. Are they looking more towards the offense? Because you know you got your MVP, but then you got your Defensive Player of the Year award, right? You got your Most Improved, so on and so forth. But from where I'm sitting at, that kid had a better year, as a basketball player, you know. And I also know years past where you guys were talking about somebody want to be over this cat right here or whatever. Well, the next year, a great example, Joel Embiid, when he won his, right? I think, who was it? Was it Giannis or the Joker that won it before him? And then he came back.
It was Jokic.
Okay, so Jokic won it first. Then Embiid, who had a really good year, didn't win it, but the next year he won it. So it's kind of like they like, well, you know what? I'm gonna give it to this cat right here this year, but next year he's my guy. But that doesn't.
But Shea won it last year, though.
No, I know, but what I'm saying though is that's why my earlier question was, what is the criteria? The voters, why is he the MVP over a guy that had that? Now, was he the Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, Wembanyama, they just announced he won it, Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay, so you look at what he did. Look at his body of work for this season. Okay. Yeah, he didn't score 30 points a game, but look at what he did on the other end of the on the other end of the floor. You know, he impacted both ends of the floor. So that's just my opinion. And the GOAT is Michael Jordan, man. Come on, let's let that rest. Let's let that rest now. Okay.
I don't know about that, Marsell.
See, now we're gonna have to talk about that one of these days, because I want to know why you guys think that. I mean, what's the criteria for that too? But anyway,
yeah, that'll be an hour long. Yeah, for another day.
yeah, that'll be another day. I'm gonna bring my notepad so I can take notes from you cats, man.
Let me ask this: wouldn't you think this would be in the conversation? The Spurs beat the Thunder. I mean, almost every game. I mean, I'm not sure if they're under run a game against the Spurs. Wouldn't that be like something they should be talking about? Like, hey, this guy he didn't beat Wembanyama. How can we give him the MVP when he didn't even be, the second best player, or what I'm saying? So how can we even? I feel like that should matter. Like they couldn't even beat them. So how can you not give it to the guy? I would say it was pretty close, but I feel like Wembanyama like definitely should have gotten that award.
That's why I said. That's why I say it's an offensive award. He scored the most points. He had the highest points per game average. That's the only thing I can think of because I look at the game. I want to see the whole body, though. I want to see the whole game. I want, do you play defense, play offense? What is your impact on both ends of that floor?
I just know if Wembanyama wasn't on the court, they win as many games. Like his war, is in baseball. Like your war is, if you're on the field, how many games you will win. If you're on the field. So yeah. I know if Shea is off the court, they still have a stacked roster. They can win games. They can do, how the Bulls did it with Michael Jordan being out those 2 years. They were doing the same thing. They would win as many same kind of games if he wasn't there. So to me, that's another thing. I'm putting that to account. If Wemby's not on the court, the Spurs are definitely not winning as many games.
They're not making the playoffs.
Let's be real. They're not.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs.
They're not.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I don't know. That's just my take.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's it's definitely an offense award. Not because if it was a basketball award, that kid, man, come on.
Yeah, how is he not the most valuable player?
Favorite. It's almost like a favorite, favoritism type of thing. Because, like I was saying with the Steve Nash and Kobe, Steve did not have better stats than Kobe Bryant. He didn't have better stats than Kobe Bryant, but they still gave it to Steve Nash. So kind of feel like, is it like a favoritism thing? Because at that time, everyone hated Kobe Bryant. Back in the 2000 to 2010, everyone hated that man because he was so good. So it's just, is it a favoritism thing? Is it like, is he liked by the media or like, because Shea right now is all over the place. He's on GQ. He's on commercials. He's doing stuff all the time, Gatorade or whatever. He's doing a bunch of stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say favoritism. I mean, I get your point though, Najee. I think I may look for certain criteria in a player. And I'm more. I guess you could say it's kind of like a favoritism. I'm more used to seeing what you do and how you play, and I compare everybody to you. And is anybody scoring the way you're scoring? What is your impact on the offensive end of the floor? I may be offensive minded. I may not even look at the total game. So I think there are different things. There are different variables that may come into play in that decision making. I think what they need to do is they need to have just a straight criteria as to they check these boxes. So that way, it's not heavily based on how many points you average a game, but what about these other categories? I mean, like when Michael Jordan was playing, when he won his MVPs, he led the league in scoring, but he was also first team all defense. So he played both ends of the floor, and not just him, but I mean, there have been previous cats. I mean, okay, well, look at the Joker, right? We talked about Jokic last week, right? He plays, he's like a crossing. I mean, I don't even know what you call him on the defensive end of the floor. He like a crossing guard or something, letting everybody go.
Come on.
Yeah, but I'm being serious though. And how many MVPs has he won? 2 or 3?
3.
3, right? And that has to be all offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all offensive based. It's all based on offense. Because if you look at the other end of the floor, man, wow. Yeah, so that's what I see, fellas.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best player winning that award a lot of the years. But I also got a list of like the voters because I was curious about who is actually voting for all of these MVP awards, and there's a lot of red flags because there's beat writers, there's some reporters, there's radio hosts, there's like TV analysts. That's like Kendrick Perkins. That guy, he just be talking clickbait stuff. Like, come on, bro. Like, a lot of these people on this list, they don't watch every single game throughout the entirety of the regular season, like in depth. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys, they're all like, oh, I got this segment tomorrow. I'm gonna just watch the highlights and then I'm gonna go on TV and talk about it. Like, it's not a set of actual people who are in the locker room, who are watching these games at the games. So it's like the voters are you know what I'm saying? It's going to have biasm in it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you have a Stephen A. Smith, who, you know what I mean? Like he's going to talk. He might not like a player. He doesn't like a lot of these players, so he's going to vote a different way for that. So it's tough, man. They got to change the way the voting system is. Maybe have a set of people who they're peeled to the games, all regular season, right? That would be amazing.
Yep.
It's like how with the MLB when they do like the Hall of Fame votes. There are people that have never played the game. They've never played baseball, and they are doing the voting of who should be in the Hall of Fame because they're analysts or no, like just like Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. All that stuff with the PEDs, everything like that. He's still a Hall of Famer before he even did it. So, but you have analysts who are upset. But if you ask any other baseball player, like, yeah, Barry needs to be in the Hall of Fame because they know how hard it is to hit the ball. These guys don't know anything. They have no clue what it takes. The food, the nutrition, the workouts, everything that it takes to be a professional athlete. They have no clue. They're just on the outside looking. It's not. There's really no conversation to have. So you should always have people who are either in the game. You either do a vote, but there's bias in that too, I guess, but a vote through the NBA or previous NBA players, and they are the ones that are making those decisions. Guys who don't know basketball, well, they might know basketball, but they never played it or played it to a high level. It's just tomfoolery to me. It don't make sense.
Yeah. If they could change up, the voting system in some way, it would definitely help out with a lot of these awards.
Yeah.
But you guys mentioned a little bit about like narrative bias, as well. Like, maybe a player's story heavily influences the voting. He carried an injured roster. He averaged a triple-double. That's what with Russell Westbrook. That's why the main reason why he got it that year. His team exceeded expectations. And I do think that, the narrative matters. But at the same time, it's like, how much of the narrative are we going to use in this voting? You know what I mean? Like, just because a player averaged a triple-double, doesn't necessarily mean that, as far as like getting assists, like that doesn't necessarily mean that you're making your teammates better all the time, which a lot of people don't realize. You know what I mean? You could be dribbling, waiting for someone to be open or something like that, or like dish off. But it's like, are you really making the team better? Are you making the offense flow? And Russell Westbrook wasn't really doing that. He figured that out. So it's like, I think the narrative thing is a little too much. And a lot of the beat writers and stuff and the analysts, they attach onto a narrative throughout the year. And that also, influences their vote as well. So that just creates more bias in it. So I think it's, there's a lot of layers to this problem where it's like, okay, we're getting these MVP awards. Okay, yes, these guys are qualified, but are they really the best player, the most valuable player? And a lot of the time it's like, no,
Yeah, you know what though? But Westbrook did something that hadn't been done and
that's true.
And I don't know, 40 years since
Yeah.
Oscar Robertson.
It was amazing.
You know, I mean, and you know, he was the one thing about Westbrook, he always played hard. So
Absolutely.
I mean, I had no problem with him winning the MVP that year because, like I said, he'd done something that hadn't been done in decades, man. And that says a lot right there.
Well, he was a triple-double merchant. Like, the guy was doing anything he could. Like, with Oscar Robertson, he just did it. That's just how good of a player he was. But with Russell, it was like, oh, I got to go do this. I got to go do that. It's not like a genuine, he could actually do this on a regular basis.
Within the flow.
I don't know.
But you got to remember, though, it didn't become a big thing until he did it the following years is when that all came about.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't the only one that be doing things to manufacture numbers.
That's true.
So you got cats that be in the games, they're getting blown up by 20, but they're on the floor because they got to get a couple rebounds or they got to score a certain amount of points.
That's my thing with Shea. That's 100%. Like, Shea is a merchant at the fouls. Like, he has to go do this to get points to, even though he has a bucket.
He has a bag.
He got a bag for sure.
Yeah, but let me ask you guys this. Okay. Now, if you're guarding me and I got a nasty pump fake and you go forward at a crucial point in the game and I get a foul call, whose fault is that?
It's the defenders. Yeah. Yes, 100%. But we can't skip over that he literally will go into players when they're not even touching him. Like, he's trying to create something that's not actually happening.
You know what? And I agree with that. But at the same time, I'm not defending Shea, but at the same time, what I want to make sure I put out there, look at all these 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing. They're pump fake and they want to get that foul and they lean in or they put their leg out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, Najee, but I just think that but also we got to look at not just single him out, but there are a lot of things I see during games that turn me off, and it's not the players.
No.
It's the officials because they're the ones that's blowing the whistle. They're making the calls because it's like, hold up, man, that's not even a foul. To me, a foul is if I knock you off your path, if I disrupt your path to the basket, or if you shoot the jump shot and I come in and I just hammer you. But if I'm going by you and I just brush your arm or brush your, come on, that's not a foul.
Right.
It's not a
foul. I just don't see Wembanyama doing any of that stuff. So it's just like I just see him like up here.
I hope he continues that.
I think Shea is legit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the guy is hands down if not the best player in the league. Like, the guy's legit. Every time like you need a knockdown two, he's got it for you.
Oh, yeah.
He'll create it. The mid-range game is elite. I've never seen, it almost kind of looks like Michael Jordan-esque, where he can get those tough shots hands and face, and it's a knockdown. Like, it's locked down. So I don't know. That's just my thing. My thoughts on Shea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, and I get where you're coming from, and I mean, let's just watch the game. Watch the 3-point shooters. No, seriously, watch the 3-point shooters, man. Yeah. And close games, they do that stuff, man. They, and they get bailed out. I think it's a bailout, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion. It's a bailout. When the guy's playing good defense, it's like you're punishing the defense.
Yeah. Adam Silver, man, he's got to have a discussion with the refs and that whole system about officiating going forward, because there's been a lot of complaining, by the fans. There's been a lot of complaining by teams as well. Rightfully so, though. I mean, it could create a bad brand of basketball that, when you're watching basketball in the early 2000s or even 2010s, 2011, 12, like, there wasn't foul baiting to the degree that it is now. And the brand of basketball was just so much better. Like, you had to go get it. You know, you weren't just going to the line 20 plus times. Like,
you just see the younger generations doing it too now. Like any guy, you go to the AAU tournament, you're seeing these kids do exactly what Shai's doing, and they're they're getting the fouls. You know, but that's just what the game is right now.
Yeah.
But it's up to Adam Silver to change it if he thinks like it's getting a little bit too crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
It's getting out of hand. You know, that's another topic as well. We could talk about that. But another thing I wanted to talk about was voter fatigue. You know, like, a player starts winning multiple MVPs and then the voters are like, maybe this guy played well enough too. We're going to give it to him because let's be honest, like Michael Jordan probably could have had more MVPs. LeBron James
for sure
could have had more MVPs. Kobe Bryant should have more than one MVP. Let's be real. So it's like, how do you guys feel about that? Like, it's kind of like, it's kind of disingenuous to the guy who actually is the most valuable player. It's like, why do I get punished, because of a narrative or because we don't want to seem biased when I'm the best guy in the league, but you're giving it to some other guy who's clearly not,
It's the politics, man. It's the politics in the game. It's if you're liked by people, if they are tired of that certain player, they're going to do anything and everything possible to not give him the recognition. Yeah. There's no way Kobe won, 5 NBA finals and this guy has one MVP when he literally ran the NBA and was the face of the NBA for 10 plus years. Like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That to me, like them not letting Chris Paul join the Lakers, that to me was something that I was like, hey, you're going to let Miami do this, but you're not going to let just Chris Paul go to the Lakers. That to me, there shows some bias in like a narrative of like what they want is what's going to happen.
I was glad he didn't go to the Lakers.
Yeah, because he would have won like 3 other championships. And they didn't want that Michael Jordan. They were still riding on that Michael Jordan high.
He's still riding on that Michael Jordan high, but
nah, he's gone.
He's
dust in the wind.
What kind of shoes y'all wear right now?
Not Jordans.
Not Jordan.
Y'all wear Jordans, I guarantee you that.
No.
But you know what though? The reason why I didn't disagree with them not allowing that trade was because of how they got Pau Gasol.
Yeah.
Come on, man. There's some bad trades, but then there's some bad trades where something's up. And who was the GM that made that? Who were the GMs that made that trade for Pau Gasol?
I don't know, but he must be a grandfather to Nico Harrison.
Mitch Kupchak and Jerry West. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So my point. So now you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? I'm just saying, man. Come on.
Yeah.
But no, Kobe deserved to have more than just one.
Right.
That kid could flat out go.
Yeah.
I just think at the time they wanted super teams, but they only wanted a super team that could compete with someone from the West. Because like the West is always so strong. And when they had that super team in Boston, they're like, all right, LeBron's like, I can't beat Boston. There's no way to beat Boston. At the time, having 3 guys against one, there's no way.
4 Hall of Famers.
And 4 Hall of Famers. Rondo, Garnett, Pierce, Ray Allen. I mean, shoot, they even had Big Baby Davis on the team.
Yes.
And, he was somewhat solid. That's what I'm saying. They had a complete core. So I understand, like, LeBron's like, you know what? I'm going to go to the Heat, and we're about to have a super team with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. I don't know.
It all comes down to management.
Well, yes. Eric Spoelstra, I believe, was the best man for the job.
You got to go back and look at Boston. Because everybody says super teams. Well, Boston got theirs through management, trades, free agency. Paul Pierce was there. Traded for Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. There's a difference.
I don't know.
I don't know though. I don't know.
Do your research. You'll see it.
No, but like I disagree on like the fact that it's a super team because of the way it happened. Like Oklahoma City, like, you know what I mean? Like it whether it's through trade, free agency, people coming to your team, if your team is like that, if your team has multiple plus Hall of Famers.
No, you're right. I'm now pick up now. Hear what I'm saying to you though.
Okay.
Now, yeah, that was a super team, but that was done via GMs.
Yeah.
Right. LeBron has been on player empowered teams where they get together and they figure out a destination and they go play. That's what the big discrepancy was with when they start talking about super teams, because then everybody got mad at KD when he went to Oklahoma, went to Golden State.
Yeah.
Right.
That was crazy.
But then when you got Harden, Kyrie, and KD, player empowerment.
Yeah.
You know, so that's all I'm saying. And if you look at all the super teams, how many of them won championships?
I mean, Boston was winning.
They won one.
Miami won.
They won two.
I mean, the super team dropped. I felt like the super team stopped once Brooklyn did what they did with KD, Harden, Kyrie were on the team, and they didn't even have them on the court for, I don't even think, 20 games.
And did they win anything?
Well, of course not. They were all hurt.
Well, because, and you know what else?
And the management,
but and management, but also you bring these three guys in, you can't afford to put a team around those guys because they make some money. So yeah, management. That's poor management. And look, and where are they right now?
I don't know.
Exactly. You know where they are right now? They downtown. They downtown getting ready to go watch
the Knicks.
Knicks play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
They put on disguises to go watch the Knicks play.
No joke. No joke.
You know,
I don't know. I think there was a time for the super team, and then it kind of just phased out. Because the contracts started getting kind of ridiculous, for sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I see your point. I would.
And plus, guys aren't willing to take pay cuts now.
No.
You know, why am I going to take $5 million to go play with you?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, what do you think about like them deferring money, like them telling, yeah, okay, cool, give me $10 million right now, like how Shohei Ohtani's doing it with the Dodgers. Guy has a contract worth $700 million, but he said, hey, just give me $2 million a year, and then you guys pay me back later. What do you think about that? Getting that into the NBA, because then you can really make super teams.
I guess my question would be, can you see today's athlete saying that?
I mean, well, Shohei Ohtani is today's athlete.
No, he said, my bad. Let me rephrase that. Can you see today's basketball players?
No.
Nah.
That part, but everybody's contract. You literally have bums on teams like we'll just say like AJ Mitchell, right, for the Thunder. That guy is super good, but he's only getting $3 million. But I know AJ Mitchell is better than half of the guys on that bench, if not on the starting roster, and he's getting $3 million. That means the other guys are getting like $15, $20 million. These guys in the NBA get big checks.
You know why he only get $3 million, right? What is this? Second year?
Second round player.
Yeah,
but I'm saying for like
he should have been in LA.
Yeah,
but they chose somebody else instead. That's all I'm gonna leave it right there.
It always comes back to LA.
He was a 38th pick.
Yeah.
In that draft.
Yeah.
All comes back down to management.
But I just think if LeBron wanted to go win a championship, but I can't say he's wrong for wanting to get the money either. You know what I mean? I feel like if he feels comfortable with his legacy, he's like, I'm going to get as much money as possible. But if he feels like I want to get one more, I would literally tell any team that's somewhat decent, like if he could go to, the Knicks, he could go to Cleveland. I mean, he can go to anybody. But he literally could just say, I'm going to take $10 million, but defer 10 to 15, 20 more million and give me payback later. I'll go win you a championship right now. That's just something I would think if he's at later on in his career, that's what he should do if he feels like his legacy's not complete.
Man, that cat don't want to win no more championships.
He just wants the money.
Hey, I'm just telling you, man. Okay, well, I tell you what. If he really, truly wanted to win championships, he would not have taken that big contract, the last contract he took. He would have left some money for free agents. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because the cat ain't hurting for money.
No.
But I don't think there were any good free agents that year when he signed. Like when he signed it, like there was. Okay. For him, it's like if there's people who are really good who are going to come in, because he took a pay cut on the Heat. Like he has took a little bit of a pay cut before, but it's one time. But like even this year, even this upcoming free agent class, like there's not much out there. Like the best free agents are like LeBron and like Austin Reeves. So it's like I don't know what he's gonna like. If he leaves the Lakers, he for sure wants to win a chip because you're not winning the Lakers you're not winning a chip on the Lakers. You know what I mean?
I'm glad y'all brought that. I'm glad you said that, Grant. Okay, so now you're Cleveland or you're the Knicks. Who are you going to let go to bring him in? Who's going to replace?
I would have no problem. Mikal Bridges leaving and having LeBron back on the team. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Mikal Bridges play defense, right?
Yes, this is true.
He defends, right?
To the best of his abilities.
And New York plays a certain style. All right, so now, who your point guard? Your lead guard. Who's your lead guard?
You literally could have LeBron running the one and have Brunson go two, but I wouldn't mind Brunson still going one.
Already, your team is gonna go just like this. No, seriously. I mean, I'm just looking at it from a basketball perspective. I'm looking at it from a locker room perspective, and I'm looking at it from an ego perspective.
Yeah.
You think LeBron's going? I don't see LeBron going to any franchise and being second fiddle to anyone. Mm-hmm. It's an ego thing, man.
But he's at that point in his career. It's over. Like that part where he's the number one is not there anymore, and he knows that too because he can't stay on the court to play a whole season.
He was the third option at times.
And he was the third option. You know what I'm
saying? With Luka Doncic and Reeves. He legitimately was.
He was. But now, he's been there and done that. He proved that he could do that.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it. I don't know how that will work out. Let's put it that way. Would your team now, let's say you guys get to the finals and you fall short. Is LeBron that one piece that's going to put your team over the top? I don't think so.
I don't know how it would work with Brown. You know, Brown was already with him on the Lakers. Yep, with the Lakers. I don't know how that would work out.
And with the Cavs.
And with the Cavs, yes. I don't know how that would work out. But I still think that veteran presence of LeBron being on your team and in Madison Square Garden, I'm telling you, the seats are sold out. It's packed.
Yeah.
I mean, the Knicks are making money. That's why I'm talking about deferring the money because just like with the Dodgers, they know they have Shohei. Now they have a community. The Japanese community's got to be coming to the games. Everybody wants to go see the best player. More money's coming to the brand. So to me, if the Knicks fall short, hey, let's maybe go get LeBron. But it has to be the right money, though. You know, LeBron can't get $50 million. We can't. That just can't happen.
We don't see.
Right, like that just can't happen. He's not that player anymore to get that per year. That's just not.
The Knicks won't get outworked, but they might get out talented. And LeBron could add on to that. I mean, he averaged 24, 7, and 7. I mean, come on, like
this guy's 40 something.
He's still like that, man.
Offensively, baby. Offensively. Hey, it ain't football where he get to play offense and take a breather on defense. I'm just saying,
No,
man.
he's not a Luka Doncic.
He ain't a Luka anymore.
Like, he can still play some defense. He's just not
LeBron's a matador, man.
Oh man, yeah. Well, hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the Knicks, with the Cavs, with all this. Great playoff matchup so far.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Had a great topic about the MVP award. You know, we think it's Wembanyama, but obviously the league thinks differently. So we'll see. There's always going to be discussions about MVP awards. But great discussion as always today, guys. Love.
I just got one more thing.
Okay.
Go New York! Go New York! Go! Come on!
Knicks fans, man. Oh man.
Hey, right here. I love DC. Go, baby. There you go.
Go.
But yeah, we'll see what happens with the game tonight too. I mean, they're going right now, right? OKC and I don't know. We'll see what next.
I still got the Spurs.
Yeah, Spurs are up right now. So
yeah.
I
still got the Spurs.
7-game series for sure. Just how we like it.
Yeah,
that's how we like it as NBA fans.
Yeah, the East are gonna have to, the Knicks literally need to win these 2 games just so that they can game plan for Wemby. They need a whole week. They might even need a month to game plan for this man. If we're being for real.
Yeah, that dude is insane, man. One of a kind, an alien. We just hope he gets 10 years of good health. Like, Lord Jesus, give him 10 years of good health.
Yeah.
And,
that's going to be insane. I just can't wait. Yeah. I love watching him play. It's just like a different being, man. It's insane. He's literally the guys we would make on 2K.
Literally.
Literally on 2K, the demigods. He's exactly what we were making, and it's insane watching it in real time where you just have to throw the ball up, and this guy's dunking on everyone.
Man.
But hey, great show.
Great show. Great topics.
Yeah.
I always love talking with you guys, man. We'll be back next week, 8 p.m. as well with more sports talk, man. Thank you for everyone who joined. Share with your friends, and have a good weekend.